Also, I just have to point out that the DVDs will look a lot less contrasty, and I'm just a stickler for that kind of thing. So.
Who said that?
Those of you who don't know, Nate has suffered a terrible injury on stage. He literally broke a leg. And it's not, I'm not making a joke, that's actually on stage.
It's not true. It was just in case this went horribly wrong, no one would actually like accost me.
We're the ones to accost afterwards. So Nate can.
I can't run.
No.
What's fake?
Yeah. Literally the first people who wants to see this. Tim hasn't seen the
No.
version.
That's my first man too.
Yeah. It was. Excellent job. Excellent.
Take a picture of everybody. Yeah, on Facebook.
Does anyone have any questions? Any questions at all about the film? How it got made? Anything regarding actors, locations, or just anything at all?
What's your next project?
No idea.
I think this would make an excellent AMC series. It's kind of insane that when you think about it, we tried to make a period film for less than the cost of a commercial. So it was kind of an insane undertaking to begin with. I mean, people make low-budget movies, but they're usually small scale, and we really. Are we getting bottles already?
What?
But yeah, it would be great to have a larger budget to tell this kind of story, and not have to shoot everything up at an angle so you don't get the modern cars in the background, that kind of thing. So.
Any questions at all? Yes.
Any idea, anybody here convinced the mayor's son to come out to watch this movie? Because I think that he would be pretty entertained.
No comment.
Which is exactly almost the 2 words that we got in response from them. But we reached out. We didn't hear anything. I think that's totally fine. Will they see it? I don't know. If they do, I hope they realize that we went about it, I think, in a pretty fair-handed manner. Well, thanks. Sundance? I don't know.
We missed the deadline, and they don't have a category for municiploitation. Oh, someone's got his hand up. That's awesome.
Has Ringo seen the movie?
Funnily enough, I live in Boston, and when I was editing this, Ringo was in town, and I really seriously entertained the thought of having him do his own voice, and so I came very close to going and staking out his hotel and acting with a tape recorder, and trying to get him to voice those I think 3 lines.
Something like that.
Yeah. I ended up paying a lot of money for that. Actually, a comedian in England ended up voicing some of those characters.
Huh.
But I don't know what he thinks.
It would have been more expensive for a restraining order from
Yeah.
Well, considering what happened to
Bail
his friend,
to get you out of jail,
yeah.
You don't want to answer a lawsuit from LegalZoom again.
Not again.
Yeah. Yes.
Just out of curiosity, which parts of the movie are true?
Oh, great question. Actually, there's quite a few.
We had a mayor. His name was Lee.
The plot thing actually happened. The claiming bribes on the tax returns actually happened.
Yeah. Shots fired at.
Shots fired were fired at the mayor's residence at one point, and we just kind of thought that it would be a funny thing to kind of extrapolate, have this character kind of run after him and hunt him down, and it turns out it's a conspiracy. And so that a lot of the situations in this movie are based on actual events, but we just kind of amped it up a little bit. Exactly,
Allen
yes.
Ginsberg. Oh, God. No.
Yeah, do some research. I mean, we had a lot of fun researching the writing of this, and it's not like we didn't try. I mean, obviously, we didn't try to do something that was truthful or biopic at all. But this real story is really fascinating. There's some really kind of nuggets that are in there that'll kind of enhance your enjoyment of this movie. I think because a lot of the I thought it would be really funny if I took a lot of those events and wove them into the most complex plot you've ever seen. I mean, can anyone explain the synopsis of this? It's not as funny as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, there are maybe 5 or 6, I think, actual events.
Oh, God,
yeah.
Even more so.
Yeah, and there's a lot of lines that are from quotes in the paper.
From the paper and everything. One thing that's kind of interesting is that we wrote the movie based on a lot of articles that we were able to acquire throughout the mayor's 16 years in office. Just all sorts of different articles, particularly towards the downfall. When word got out that we were making the movie, that's when people started coming to us with all sorts of insane personal stories and recollections.
And the script was done.
I was going
Yeah.
to say that when I got cast, we started filming this. Pretty much any time that anyone found out that I was playing the part, they're like, "Oh, I knew Lee. Let me tell you something. I got a story about Lee Alexander." They're all insane. If we took all the stories that I heard and put them in a movie, you would ask pretty much the same exact question of which part was true, and they would all be true. It's just all crazy things. I was like, okay, if we put it in there, no one would believe it, so we gotta have a lie.
Yeah, and the thing that was interesting about it is we didn't want to do anything that was, even though obviously a lot of our stuff was not true in the actual end result. We based it on stuff that we researched. When people came up to us with stuff about, are you going to include this or about this other thing that ever happened? Amazing stuff, but no corroboration. Because a lot of the stuff that was kind of scandalous about the mayor's personal life, not much of that really made that into the main media at the time. It wasn't really in the papers about his affairs, at the time. It wasn't in the papers about, him getting beaten up on the sidewalk, which I heard this story several times, by some guy who got sick of him hitting on his wife. Did you see that one?
Yeah, you told me that.
Oh, okay. And these were things that were great, kind of hearsay, wasn't in the paper, so we would have loved to have heard it beforehand.
What two just non-story items that were in there that were actually happened. One, our friend Vinny Spina, who's in the movie playing a judge, he actually kind of plays himself. He told us about this event that happened where he said, "Where do you get those suits?" And he says, "Anywhere I can get a deal." He actually had that conversation with the mayor. And there's at one point
10, right?
What's that?
He was 10.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, obviously he was much younger.
He's not a judge.
He was a judge actually. The only 10-year-old judge in America. And the other thing that actually happened was the scene with the journalist where he's got his pants down and he's showing him the scar. Well, that actually happened to my father. He told me that story while we were in production, and so I thought, well, wouldn't that be funny if that led to this and this and this?
And if Jonathan actually played his father.
That wasn't me.
Oh, that wasn't you, right?
No. Not a lot that's true.
That guy was an asshole to deal with.
Anything else? Yes.
Sundance is out. You did that, but what are the plans or any considering doing DVDs?
Have you got any ideas? I'll talk to you afterwards. To be honest, and Tim just had a child, so he's very another Merlino.
I'm certain some of you have had kids.
And this movie was finished on Wednesday. So I've been very busy making this movie. So I haven't actually looked into what festivals would be We got rejected by the Boston
Oh, we did?
Underground Film Festival. Yes, we did. I'm sorry.
Son of a bitch.
I sent them an unfinished version that had loads of problems and had a bad sound mix. I just really wanted to be in that festival, but they did not like the unfinished version that I sent them. But they might like this one, you know.
Well, we're definitely going to submit it here at the Syracuse International Film and Video Festival.
Yeah.
A few others as well that we're going to submit it to in the past.
What a friend, dude.
Absolutely. John just actually mentioned an interesting thing. The day that he came to me with the idea of how to do the Lee Alexander, how to do this story, was the night that I told him that I was expecting a baby. And I said, Sarah and I are expecting a baby. He says, that's great. You want to do a movie before it gets here? and I said yes. And so I just
Pulled it off. You pulled it off.
Yes, I did.
Which explains the gray hair on both of our heads.
It does. It does.
I just have to, one thing I just remembered, I have to apologize. Is Norm Wilson still here?
Norm?
Back in the back.
Norm, stand up. Norm played Harvey Baldwin, and he did a tremendous job. I had to dub him in post, because he is too nice a guy to be that scary. So, I know this happens to actors a lot, and it just happened to you. So I'm sorry. That's not his voice, but. Some introspection might be in order.
The other?
John, this is the Lord speaking.
Who said that?
That's the voice that's been in my head. You have different lines. So.
Oh. If you feel like you want to be involved in something that we
We'll call you.
Yeah. I think she's here.
She was here. I think she left at the first motherfucker.
I think I just got kicked out of Syracuse.
I was.
But actually, interestingly, when I first started the night that I was bringing some, one afternoon I was bringing props over to the State Tower building, which was incredibly gracious. Let us shoot on the 18th floor, I think. For 3 weeks, we had access to this place. Absolutely donated. They were wonderful. I can't say enough about them if anyone's from there tonight. Thank you. But I was walking out one day at lunchtime, and Mayor Miner was walking toward me. And I stopped and said, excuse me, Mayor, and I thanked her for coming to a meeting at Westcott. Oh, well, thank you very much. I said, I just wanted to let you know, we're making a movie about Lee Alexander, and I just wanted to, and she just kept walking.
No, but she did let us film inside City Hall.
Yeah, but
She was incredibly gracious.
She's a wonderful person.
She saw us shooting the scene where Nate is lying prone on the ground getting yelled at by his secretary. And she said she showed up.
That's how I meet the mayor.
Yeah.
Lying on the ground.
Yeah.
and other music, and other city reps.
She was coming to work on a Sunday, and she said, "Hey, come on in. Let's I'll show you around." And she was so nice. And
Yeah.
She showed us where his office was,
And
where the chin-up bar was.
and she said, we went in there with the camera, and I was like, "Hey Nate, let's get a couple shots." And so the shot of Nate and Callie running through the hallway and around the corner, that's in City Hall. That's the only shot that we got in City Hall, and
But we did also, in there's a scene shortly thereafter when he says, hey, go do this. And Callie, Marguerite and Callie Gibbons come running out of City Hall and they hop in the limousine. We set off the alarm. She didn't know that we were actually going to be doing other things in City Hall, and so we had to just run out of this door, open it up, bang! The alarm goes off, and it took a while for that to be turned off. What happened after that?
I don't know. I think I drove away with the girls. Dave, the Otaki and I were gone. We left you guys standing there.
I can explain.
I saw someone else out there. Yeah.
I and